Hello, Nick here from TechNuovo and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm talking about this. It's the Heatcaster Pro from a company called Ikago or Ikago. It's a heated coaster and that's it. Its goal is to keep your hot drink hot or warm it back up if it gets cold. It currently retails for about £50 over in the US for the standard version, 60 for the Pro set, which includes a mug, and you can expect to pay a little bit more than that in British pounds. I've had this on my desk for a few weeks, using it on and off if I've needed it, and here are my thoughts. As part of the Pro set, you get the coaster, a mug or cup, a funky spoon and a lid for said cup. You can purchase the standard version and you will just get the coaster. The coaster itself is quite a lot bigger in size than you would associate with a normal plastic, ceramic or cardboard coaster. It's modern looking, the colours are black, silver and chrome. It sits on 4 rubber legs. It's got this rubber-like area your cup sits on, which is the part that heats up. Got a display which shows you the current temperature of your drink plus the desired temperature of your drink. It's got an on-off button and touch controls for adjusting temperatures. It needs to be plugged into the mains to get its power. As for the cup, it's a fairly standard cup, but you will notice to the underside it has more surface area than perhaps a traditional cup, which will help with performance. There is a lid. It's a little bit odd putting a lid on top of your cup, but I do recommend using it to help with efficiency. So how does it work? The dark black rubber area is a hot plate. There is an electrical element below it and it will heat up, a bit like an induction hob if you have one of those at home. In terms of specification, it has a rated power output of 75 watts and it can warm your drink to anywhere you want between 40 and 80 Celsius or 105 to 175 Fahrenheit. It measures the temperature of the cup via infrared, so you need to ensure the cup is in the correct position to allow it to take the reading. The display at the front will help with that. The display shows 4 things. At the top is the real-time temperature of your cup, below is a status bar, then below that your desired temperature you set via the 2 touch sensitive buttons on the top, and then to the right a small indicator light noting whether the coaster has detected a cup or not. To use the coaster, plug it in, turn it on by the power button on the right hand side, place your cup in position and set the temperature to suit. That's it. I mentioned the status bar earlier, which separates the 2 temperatures on the display. Well, it changes colours. Blue means the cup is cooler than the temperature you've set, green means it's hit the temperature, i.e. ready to drink, and red means it's hotter than the set temperature. In terms of performance, it works well and as expected. It will efficiently keep your drink warm. Picking it up for a sip, putting it back down, it will maintain the temperature until the majority of the drink has gone. I feel the temperature reading target is mid-level of the cup, so as you drink and say you're nearly done, the accuracy of the reading decreases as there isn't any liquid in the middle of the cup anymore. You'll see here I made a cup of tea one evening. It was very hot, it was boiling water out of the kettle. I put it on the coaster, set the desired temperature to 80 degrees and left it. I came back 45 minutes later and it was as hot as I left it. I left it again and came back 30 minutes later and again as hot as I left it. Due to that continued heat, you can see this layer of something forming on top of my tea, which doesn't look that appealing at all. I touched on it before, but the cup you get with it has this increased surface area to the base and it's not an overly thick cup either, both of which will help with temperature readings. I tried a number of other cups, some bigger, some thicker, and some didn't necessarily have a flat bottom to them, which kind of made an air gap between the base and the cup, all of which will affect temperature readings and heating performance. It's not a deal breaker, and although the cup you get looks okay, you want to use your own cup, right? It's a thing, everyone has their favorite cup, so use it. Just bear in mind that it may not perform as well. In terms of safety, this certainly needs to be out of the way of children and used by adults only. At 80 degrees, this will burn your hand or finger if you touch it, so don't. This applies to the rubber circular area of the cup it sits on, so when the cup is in place, it's relatively safe. It's when you move it to drink or you're done and it's cooling down, which is when you need to be careful. The underside of the coaster gets very hot too. It's on rubber feet and there are air vents to dissipate heat, but again, I wouldn't pick this up while it's hot or cooling down. In terms of cooling down, it will take a few minutes to get to a manageable heat, and there are automatic shutdown settings built into it too. So if it doesn't detect any cup movement for 2 hours, i.e. you've forgotten about it or you're stuck in a meeting, it will shut down or turn off. Or if it detects no cup at all, it will shut down after 15 minutes. It's well worth reading the instructions as there are a few do's and don'ts with the coaster. They recommend not using glass or quartz cups. And if you want your drink to heat up swiftly, put the lid on. Paper and plastic cups are not recommended due to safety reasons. You don't want your plastic cup melting. If, like me, you want to swap from Fahrenheit to Celsius, you can do that by holding down the plus and minus buttons together on the top for a few seconds. So there we have it. That was the Heat Coaster Pro from Ikago. A neat bit of tech that certainly works well and not overly expensive. Whether you'll use it, that depends on your drinking habits. For me, yeah, I use the coaster, but if I have a hot coffee, I generally drink it within 5 minutes or so. So I'm not really benefiting that much from the coaster, but that doesn't mean you wouldn't. I'm going to keep this on my desk for a while longer, so if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below and I'll try and get back to you. That's a wrap for this video. If you have stuck around until the end, then thank you very much. And if you want to see more videos from us in the future, hit that subscribe button and all our future videos will pop up in your feed.